Hello and welcome. This week brings us both Earth Day and Arbor Day, so I wanted to create a yoga class that celebrates and honors both of those days. We will do a few different things with the goal of increasing our sense of connection to the earth. So we'll be doing a new grounding breathing technique, exploring 4 different grounding poses, as well as bringing a different style of class today, all centering on a concept of grounding, grounding like the earth. So grounding in yoga is often used, and it can be used 2 main ways, I would say. One way is an adjective describing our psychological state, so grounding, feeling emotionally centered and grounded, and it also is used to describe the physicality of grounding into the earth, so wherever our body is touching the ground or the earth. So like right now, my sits bones, my lower legs, the top of my foot. Being mindful of where we're connected to the earth creates a stronger foundation for the poses that we're doing, because it allows us to move into the proper alignment, which then decreases our risk of injury and increases all of the benefits that we're receiving from doing the poses in the first place. And when we use it in the physical sense, it's kind of neat because it feeds back into that psychological sense by the act of bringing our awareness to the present, to now, where our bodies are physically grounded, enables us to become present and become mindful, which lends itself to that emotional, psychological state of feeling centered and grounded. Grounding reminds us of our connection to the earth and encourages us to feel supported by something much larger than ourselves. It is about being rather than doing. I hope you enjoy today's class. So we're going to start with a breathing technique called the Ujjayi, or victorious breath. It is a long, smooth breath where we're continuously breathing. So we're not retaining our breath at all. And it is both inhaling and exhaling through our noses. It simultaneously calms and stimulates, which is one of the really cool things about it. You can kind of choose to tap into whichever of those things you feel like you need more of. It's an audible breath, sometimes referred to as an oceanic breath or even a Darth Vader breath. And that audibleness, the sound of it, is one of the things that is used as a focus point to anchor our minds in the present moment. It serves to redirect our focus anytime we become distracted by any of the thoughts flying through our heads. And every time I try to record myself explaining it, I end up forgetting something, so I ended up writing it down and putting it on some slides for you guys to read. So you can pause it for however long it takes you to read it, but please do so. It also probably would be faster than you listening to me explain the whole thing. So do that, and then we'll come back to how to actually do it. So basically, it is a breath where we inhale and exhale through the nose, and there's a slight constriction in the back of our throats. So to start with, find a comfortable seat or stand if you wish. And you might kind of loop your shoulders, so pull your shoulders up and back so your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Have your spine be tall and long, so reaching up through the crown of your head. Take a moment just to relax, and then inhale through your nose, and when you exhale, open your mouth and exhale as though you're trying to like fog up a mirror. We're going to do that a couple times. One more. And then on your next exhale, begin it that way, but midway through your exhale, close your mouth, but try to keep that same sound and the same position in your throat. So after you close your mouth, you still should be able to hear the sound of your breath. And you can try that a few times where you start with your mouth open and then close it kind of part way through to get more familiar with that feeling. And the sound quality does change a little bit from when your mouth is open to closed. It doesn't sound exactly the same, but it still should be audible. And that's kind of where the Darth Vader nickname comes in. So then after you've gotten more comfortable with that, which may take a few or more sessions of practicing, once you can have that audible sound happening when your mouth is closed, then you can do the entire exhale that way. It's kind of like a sigh, and you might be able to start noticing or feeling like the back of your throat, like that you're holding your throat differently there, which is what is causing the sound, is that constriction there. And then once you've gotten a little bit more comfortable with exhaling, the only difference is you're just keeping your mouth closed and not moving from the exhale into the inhale. So I encourage you to practice that. If it didn't come easily or quickly for you today, that is totally fine. It took me a handful of days before it finally clicked for me. And just take a few minutes to practice that. If it's something that is coming fairly naturally for you, or if it's something that you've encountered before, when we move into the poses for today, you can start working it into them as well. I want to emphasize that even though it's being taught with yoga and it is sometimes called a yogic breath, this audible breathing technique, or Ujjayi breath, is by no means exclusively used when practicing yoga. It's a great tool to pull out and use whenever you're feeling stressed or agitated or nervous. It's a way that you can help your body physically reset. And then it's kind of like magic how that can also then help you mentally reset. Again, with practice.